Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tark Talks, your monthly news dump filled with opinions so mild you didn't know you wanted them or needed them, because you don't. And to be frank, you're probably better off without them, because this month, everybody is mad. Oh no! The PS4 controller won't work with PlayStation 5 games! People are so mad! The Analog Pocket pre-orders were limited, so stock sold out fast.
People are so mad!
Spider-Man is exclusive to the PlayStation version of the upcoming Avengers game. People are so mad! I mean, I never even heard of Soul Calibur before this. I never even heard of another game company doing this for decades and it never being a problem. But I'm so mad with them all! The Fairy Tail game got censored with a day one patch and people are so... Oh. Actually, you know what? That's kind of fucked up. Let's look at that one for a second. Alright, so you all know the anime Fairy Tail. Kind of cute, kind of lewd, kind of really lewd. Well, it stands to reason that, of course, the video games would be lewd too. It is part of the appeal of the show. And I don't know if Koei Tecmo doesn't understand this, but capitalizing on the appeal of the show to target the anime's fanbase as your main demographic is how you get people on board with your game. Well, I say that I don't know if they know that, but fact of the matter is, they do, and this is where the problem comes in. The Fairy Tail game was built specifically to target that demographic. All the trailers show this, and a lot of the fans place their pre-orders based on these trailers and promotional materials catering to them. Yet, on the day of release, a patch comes down the pipeline and those panty shots go bye-bye. And I should probably take a second here to point out that this is allegedly because of a day one patch. Some people have stated that this may be in the base game, but that still doesn't skirt the main issue: the promotional material. Now, do I think that's something that should break the game for people and destroy their interest in it? Well, no, not necessarily. A game is more than its panty shots, at least usually. But, and I stress this, as interesting as the game can still be, as a matter of principle, this crosses a line for me personally and ensures that it's not something I can directly support. Koei Tecmo, a company whose greatest claim to fame and largest contribution to video game history was the publication of the world's first pornographic video game, stands in the shadow of their past accomplishments and wants to pretend they're above them. Every version of this game on every platform has now been censored and sold on false promises and misleading marketing. I'm not alright with that. I understand there's societal pressure on them to change these things, but those people causing that pressure are not the target demographic, and the target demographic by and large isn't hurting anybody with their interests, so just let them be. You're only hurting yourselves and your fans with this crap. At the time of recording this, Koei has not made any statements towards the issue, and I have my doubts they ever will. But I'll personally be sending them a strongly written letter. There, my strongly written letter. It's an S. That's S for stop. Now, much like Koei is doing with their history, let's run far away from this story and on to the next one. One of the most interesting stories to me this last month was around the Danganronpa franchise's digital delisting. So there's not really that much of a story here. There was no big drama, no big falling out, and despite personally lacking the hindsight to predict or even think about this happening, it really should not have come as a surprise. On July 16th, NIS America tweeted out to the public that select Danganronpa titles will soon no longer be available for purchase on PSN through NIS America. And a lot of people jumped the gun and started praising physical as being more permanent yet again. And I mean, yeah, physical for life, but the games aren't really going anywhere. It just won't be NIS America selling them anymore. Some of you may have noticed in my recent review of AI the Somnium Files that I credited Spike Chunsoft as both developer and publisher. Well, not all that long ago, Spike Chunsoft opened their own North American division so they can personally localize and publish their own games. I don't know the ins and outs of their licensing agreement with NIS America, but whatever the case, NIS America's licensing has come to an end, and it's likely being picked back up by Spike Chunsoft's North American division. If you downloaded the game in the past through NIS America's licensed version, it will still be eligible for continuous re-downloads in the future with no extra charge. And hell, before NIS's version is delisted, we might actually see some last-minute deep sales as they try to squeeze out just a few more pennies from this cash cow. But only time will tell on that one. And one other thing I want to touch on with this topic. A lot of people are happy to see this property out of NIS America's hands, and I don't fully blame you guys. NIS has a spotty history, and some of the jokes in Danganronpa 3, especially added in through the localization process, really rubbed me the wrong way. But for the most part, I'm really happy with what NIS had done with the franchise. The work they put into it, the polish of the average script, the marketing and merch they got out there. They really tried to make the series accessible. Hell, they even kept putting them on Vita long after the Vita was considered dead by many. NIS America is a large part of why the series is so popular in the West. Sure, they were working with a great property, so success to a degree was almost guaranteed. But they done a great job with it too. Enough so that Spike found it viable to open their own studio in North America and soak up some more of those profits. We owe NIS America some recognition here. They made mistakes in the past, and some pretty big ones during the same era they were localizing these games. But you don't steer a company by only criticizing their mistakes. You praise their successes too. Now, what else have we got here? There were like some more game reveal events. Nintendo's was kind of boring until they revived Shin Megami Tensei 5 from the dead. PlayStation's was not noteworthy. Xbox did a thing and everybody laughed at Halo Infinite, and like, I mean, it does look kind of funny. The lighting and textures are a little out of whack, but, you know, I do get it. They're targeting 240 frames per second, so concessions do have to be made, even on the next generation of console. But unfortunately, their studio is actually facing a lot of internal trouble right now as well, so who knows if this game is actually going to look better than this or not when it comes time for release. And speaking of in-studio trouble, boy, this next one was a little bit spicy. Aeon Must Die. This was a pretty neat and slick looking game. Well, apparently it was made off the backs of unpaid interns and full-time professionals working overtime, also unpaid. The crunch was so bad, in fact, that apparently the entire studio up and quit before the game was revealed. And the trailer that we seen was made from clips outsourced to a third-party entity. In some of the published information allegedly by former developers on the game, it was the plan of upper management all along to systematically underpay their workers so that they would either A, keep working unpaid to keep their name in the credits of the finished product, or B, resign and lose their name on the finished product, likely also losing all the money that should have been paid to them along the way, wherein the company would just hire a new person to fill their shoes and repeat the cycle. Both outcomes there, from the perspective of upper management, means that they can develop the game much cheaper than they should have been able to. But they didn't bargain for option C. The entire team takes a mass exodus. Well, maybe this is best for their PR too. You can't have in-studio trouble plaguing the game's launch or reception if you don't even have a studio. Now, let's get into some Tarks Tidbits. It's a name I'm trying out for this middle section with all these small stuff crammed into it. You guys let me know if you think the name works or not. First off, Uppers is still up in the air, but Kenichiro Takaki's other game, Kentakawa Jet Girls, aka Ecchi Wave Race, now has a release date of August 25th for PlayStation 4 and PC. I won't lie, it ain't looking that hot, but hey, it's coming and I'd like to check it out at some point regardless. I don't know if this next one is a first or not exactly, but it seems Kazuna AI, the virtual YouTuber, is being added to Neptunia Virtual Stars as a DLC character. I don't have much to add there, but it's pretty neat seeing how much of the world of AniTube is starting to cross paths with gaming and game developers. It certainly beats Ryan Toy's reviews getting a kart racer. God, that face just makes me irrationally irritable. We've got some news from Kickstarter that Yoshitaka Murayama, creator of Suikoden 1 and 2, is back in action. He's looking for funds for his next JRPG adventure, Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, possibly not how it's pronounced. It seems clearly to be a spiritual successor to the Suikoden franchise, with the title alone indicating that this will once again be a story told with the formula of the old Chinese story, the water margin. Everything about this one is looking promising, but then, as it is a Kickstarter, it's never hard to present people with a dream IP. The challenge is turning your presentation into a reality for the asked for budget. For games coming out this month, I haven't recorded this bit, so come back to it later. Fall Guys has already dropped and it seems people have really taken a shine to it. Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon is dropping on PC, PS4, and Switch in North America on the 11th for those who absolutely need more Hestia of the Bestia Chestia in their lives. Kandagawa Jet Girls, as mentioned earlier, is dropping on the 25th. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is supposedly finally dropping on August 27th, and Captain Tsubasa Rise of the New Champions is dropping on August 28th to rep the seemingly undersupported world of Annie sports games in North America. And for videos to check out, I want to share out Rayare Reviewing's Ocarina of Time Retrospective. I know Ocarina of Time has been talked about a lot, but this guy's approach to this passion project makes the hour-long video feel like it passes by in minutes. And I don't mean passes by in 61 minutes. I mean, it feels like 10 or 15 in the grand scheme of things. It's very focused on the effects the game had on him growing up, as well as how the game itself portrays the same act. Also, the video is loaded top to bottom with jokes, all delivered with his signature style, and an aggressive tone that makes you more than just a little certain this guy would knock you out on the streets if you said you supported the wrong football team.
That wanker's got a frog football shirt on! Let's give this Nancy a fucking good kicking! Come on, lads! It's going off! Yeah!
Now, what to close the video on? Well, Ubisoft pretty much imploded over the last month over some misconduct allegations among many other deeper, darker things, but everybody kind of already forgot that that happened. And I mean, I joke at the start of most of these videos that, you know, we're gonna talk about this last month's news and then forget it ever happened a week later, but that joke is definitely steeped in truth. At least I feel it is. How many of you are even still concerning yourself with this Ubisoft story? I'm willing to bet that a lot of folks out there already forgot that it happened, or at least thought it was a lot longer ago than it really was. But I digress. I guess Nintendo announced Pikmin 3, the deluxe edition for Switch, and there's a little bit of a story here. Now, simply announcing another Wii U game getting ported to Switch isn't a story in and of itself. An announcement like that is about as common as finding people who like feet in the comments of any random video on Hub. But there is a little bit of a story here, something that kind of irks me a bit. It's a bit of a slimy move, but in order to discourage purchases of the Wii U version of this game, Nintendo has removed its digital listing. Of course, if you're lucky and you own a Wii U, if we can call owning a Wii U lucky, you could probably track down a physical copy of the game pretty cheap. The Nintendo Selects version should only run about $20 to $25. But if there are no stores around you that carry it, or you simply only buy digital, you're shit out of luck. I mean, this isn't a huge market being affected by this decision. I highly doubt many Wii U owners that still have their Wii U are interested in the game on there now that it's coming to Switch, but for some reason they weren't interested in it when it first released on Wii U amidst the barren desert of competition that was rampant on the console. So this maybe affects 10 people, but still, the move itself is pretty slimy. Kind of a smart way to ensure they've maximized their sales, but still slimy. And what else? Philip Mewson, the famous IGN plagiarizer who already destroyed his chances at a completely and strictly professional career, is trying to make a comeback on YouTube. He's not really in my backyard. I'm not going to keep up with this too much. Good luck to him, I guess. He's got a lot of ground to cover, and I doubt he's ever going to cover it. He'll pretty much be under a microscope for the rest of his life, but again, I digress. Tales of Crestoria launched on mobile devices. I tried to play it twice. I got server issues the first time, and the second time it froze on a black screen, so nothing there for me. Joe Rogan said a thing that wasn't really bad, but Angry Joe was accused of sexual harassment, but Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch, and nobody knows why but me, and that reason is I simp for Lucy Lawless. Why people care as much as they do, but evidently they do. Or rather, the television Amico was delayed, and because it's fun to be included. Care about this. You know what? Screw it. That's it. Here's the last story of the day. My cat discovered her weird circle ball toy, and it's brought me endless joy to watch her play with it. So, you know what? You get to watch it too. God knows we could use some more fun in your lives, and here's a little bit on me. And yeah, that's gonna be it today, folks. Obviously, there is a lot more we could cover. A lot did happen last month. But in the interest of not overloading this video with topics, and with interest to not overloading you guys with an unhealthy dose of negative topics, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So if you guys like the video, you know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you can. Links to all my socials are in the description below, and as always, folks, thanks for watching.